It's the Nation of Podcast daily podcast. I'm O'Shea. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. $1 million worth of game podcast host Gilly the Kid goes off on Charleston White. Now, as we all know, Gilly the Kid lost his son last year or maybe a little bit before that due to somebody bop, you know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, his son is no longer with us. So RIP to Gilly the Kid's son. But Charleston White went to the internet, as he always does, and went off on Gilly the Kid, saying that he sacrificed his son to join the Illuminati, and that's how he got this $10 million. It is what it is, or excuse me, $1 million worth of game podcast deal. All this kind of stuff. Well, Gilly the Kid responded back, and they've had this back and forth going on. And then Charleston White, he actually went on one of his interviews, one of his car rides, wherever Charleston White that likes to record his stuff. And then he tells Gilly he apologized for going off on his son and saying stuff like that. Well, Gilly the Kid said, I'm not forgiving you. I'm not going that route. I'm not dealing with you. I want nothing to do with you, and starts firing shots at Charleston White. Let's take a look at this clip from Gilly the Kid on the Club Shay Shay podcast with Shannon Sharp as he gives his thoughts and reactions to Charleston White and how he will never forgive him for what he said. Let's tune in.
The Illuminati, you had to sell your soul, so you had to sacrifice your son, right, in order to stay in good graces and keep this paper coming.
Now that we know one of the kids that was responsible for murdering my son, right? Mm-hmm. So I guess the Illuminati came to a 16-year-old kid that's in high school. Mm-hmm. And said, we need you to kill Gilly's son for Illuminati purposes. See how idiotic this shit sounds? Mm-hmm. That as a black man, you can't just work hard, and put the work in every day, and blessings come from that. That they gotta come from somewhere else. Right. So I don't pay that shit no mind, man.
Have you met the kid? Have you talked to the kid that took your son's life?
Nah, I never met him. Only reason why I know is because the police called me and told me once he was murdered. Once because the kid had just got shot 17 times. He was walking with his mom. Oh. And he got murdered. And then the police notified me and let me know that he was one of the kids that was pretty much about to get locked up for the murder, but he got murdered first. So, and then, when you do something in the streets know. So, they all go on Instagram and they talk, and then, apparently this kid name was the Joker, and, that's what he did. So, but he had to deal with God, that's how I look at it.
And then Charleston White said something disrespectful and derogatory towards your son, but he later apologized. Did you accept his apology? Did you talk to Charleston?
No, but you can't, I can't respect niggas like that, because what I know you for. When I ask you, what do you know him for? Think about it. You don't even know. You know him for disrespecting niggas that's known.
Right.
Think about that. You ain't putting no work in out here. You ain't did nothing. You got on the internet at 40-some years old, a nigga that had nothing going on, and disrespected niggas that put work in. I can't respond to them like that. Me and you ain't on the same level. Think about that. Mm-hmm. I can't respond to what they call POs online.
Wow, strong words from Gilly the Kid there. Hey, he is not messing with Charleston White. He says, no, sir. He said he can't mess with somebody that does the things that he's did. Charleston White did make a name for himself. Now, I'm not hating on that part. I mean, to be honest, Gilly the Kid did the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, wasn't nobody checking for Gilly the Kid's music. Wasn't nobody checking for him doing anything up until he started his podcast, where he started discussing other rappers' business or inviting rappers on there. That's the same thing Charleston White does. You feel me? He does the same thing. He gets on there. He discusses his opinions about, Gilly or Boosie Badass or Gangsta Williams or anybody that he feels like needs to be addressed. he addresses it, and that's just the world that we live in now. Now, I get it, you know what I mean? It is slightly different because Gilly was, he was in the industry, so to speak, but Charleston White has put his stamp on the industry too. I mean, he's made himself a YouTube star, a legend, so I'm not necessarily hating on that, but I do respect Gilly for saying that, hey, bro, like, you need to not talk about me, not talk about my son, not bring none of that stuff up because that has nothing to do with you. I respect Charleston White for apologizing. I also respect Gilly for not accepting his apology, because just because somebody apologized to you, that don't mean you got to accept it. That's the crazy thing in this world nowadays. Folks can do you wrong and play you, and then just because you say you sorry, you're supposed to just forget everything that happened. Nah, if Buddy has feelings too. If Buddy don't want to be his friend or don't want to accept his apology, you can't make somebody react the way that you want them to react. So I respect both parties here. They both are making sense to me. Hey, maybe one day we could get Charleston White on the Gilly the Kid podcast, because that would be one hell of a show. But until then, just leave these two alone, man. They got some issues between them that need to be resolved. Nation, what do you think about Gilly the Kid's comments on Charleston White and the passing of his son? What do you think about Charleston White calling out Gilly the Kid? Do you think these two will ever have to sit down and get to talk about their issues on the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast? Like I said, I would tune into that episode 10 times over. Nation, let me know in the comment section down below. Make sure you all hit that like and subscribe button on your way out. What up, everyone? I'm O'Shea from the Nation of Podcation. It goes down February 15th. Yes, this Saturday, downtown Indianapolis, Georgia Street. Remember the 90s. Now, everybody, go ahead. Get your backwards hats on. Get your jersey dresses, ladies. Fellas, break out the FUBU jerseys. Let's come downtown to Georgia Street and have a good time. My main man, DJ, last name, song is on the ones and twos. It's ran by AK Promotions. That's my boy Antoine. You know how we get down. Folks is going to have a good time. It's going to be some dancing in the building. It's good food in the building. The drinks flow in the building. Come out, show up, have a good time with us. This weekend, February the 15th, Georgia Street is going down. Make sure you check out my YouTube channel, Nation of Podcation. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button on your way out.
What up, this is DJ Michael Watts, and when I'm not in the switch house, I'm hanging out with my dog, DJ last name Song.
Girl, I hope you to stay so. Attitude like a young O'Shea with an AK.
Okay, don't you tell these motherfuckers that my name is O'Shea.
O'Shea and I been kicking it strong for a minute now. O'Shea doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke. O'Shea is a professional model.
Attitude like a young O'Shea with an AK.
Okay, don't you tell